Welcome to Education Today. I'm Brianna Williamson, a junior from Katanning High School from the Armstrong School District. Today we have a very special guest with us, Frank Fabian. Frank is the new Katanning High School head football coach. We will be asking him about his previous experiences with the game as well as his plans for the future of the program. Welcome to Education Today. What influenced you to come back to Katanning?
Well, I think the biggest influence I had was my family. I was coaching at Red Bank Valley, which involved a little bit of travel. And the kids up there get out later. We actually started practice an hour later than we do here, and with the travel time, essentially what it came down to is getting home late. I got home after 7:30, and then my daughter, who went to bed at 9 o'clock. So it made for a rough year last year, not being able to see her during the season. So, when the opportunity arose to come back to Katanning, it seemed like a good opportunity. I live here, my wife is from here, and I work here. So it just seemed like a logical choice to go ahead and coach here.
What do you think about stepping into the head coach position?
Well, I think anytime you do something new or anything that's a change, you're always nervous or have a little bit of anxiety about the challenge. But, I feel a little more comfortable this time around than when I accepted the head job at Red Bank. I feel like those 2 years up there, and that experience, I'll be able to draw on that as I go through the process here the second time. So, I'm excited, but there's a little bit of anxiety that goes along with such a big change.
What do you think of the program here?
Well, I think obviously the program has fallen on a little bit of tough times. I think the getting bumped up to AAA had a lot to do with that. But I think there's a lot of tradition here. I think there's great community support here, and we need to draw on those two things, in trying to get this, program back on the right track.
Why did you get into coaching?
Well, originally I got in coaching to get a job. When I went to Red Bank Valley, just so happens that they had a football assistant job open with the teaching job, and so I felt like, if I went out and I agreed to coach, that might give me a better opportunity or a leg up, I guess, on the competition for the job that was there. So I kind of agreed to take the coaching job, and then when I took the job and I got back involved in high school football, it didn't take long that I fell in love with it, coaching again and being around the game. And, I think it keeps me young in a sense, if you can understand that, being around young kids and whatnot. But, originally, I guess I got into it to get a better chance of getting a teaching job. So that's how it all started.
What was your high school football experience like?
Well, my high school experience, it was a good one. We probably didn't win as many games as we would have liked to, but looking back on it, there's nothing like playing with the kids you grew up with. We came up through the youth programs together. We started playing ball about 10 years old in the youth program, and we played all the way up till high school until we were 18. So, we have a lot of memories. I think a lot of my strongest memories of high school are that from football. When we get back together as a group, it seems like it never fails. We start telling stories about, the good old days and your high school football days. So, overall, it was a pleasant experience.
Then what about your college experience?
Well, my college experience probably didn't go as well as I thought it would go coming out of college. But, the college game's a whole different animal. You go from being kind of the big fish in the little pond to the little fish in the big pond. I really didn't amount to much more than special teams work and playing on teams like that. So, in a sense, it was a little bit of a disappointment that I didn't make the impact that I thought that I would originally going there. But with that said, some of the strongest friendships that, I still have to this date are from college football. 3 of my teammates were in my wedding. So, I guess I have college football to thank for that. So.
Where did your football interest come from?
Well, I think my football interest probably came from my playing days in the youth program at Ford City. They started a program there. They actually started the program when I was 10 years old, and I started playing there. And over the course of the years, I just began to like it more each year. And then when we got to the bigger team, and then you got to play on Saturday nights under the lights and the excitement of running out there, I was just hooked. It was probably that first night game in the youth program when we got to play under the lights. I thought, man, this is a really neat deal.
How long have you been coaching?
I've been coaching for 10 years. Originally, my first 6 years I did at Red Bank, 4 as an assistant coach, 2 as an offensive coordinator. Then I came back to Katanning in 2009 as a quarterbacks coach, and then I went back to Red Bank for 2 years as the head coach, probably the last 2 years.
What are some of your successes during coaching?
Probably on the field, I would say it'd have to be 2 years ago. It would probably be our biggest success. It was my first year as a head coach, and we took over a struggling program. They were 3-7 the year before. They had 24 seniors who graduated. We actually, one of the local newspapers selected us to go 1-9 that year. And, with all that said, we were one of the last 4 teams standing. We were in the semifinals. We were about 1 yard away from playing in the district finals that year. So to take that team that really had no expectations at the beginning of the year and to end up in the semifinals with just a great group of kids and a team that was very young, that was probably, one of my biggest on-field successes. Probably off the field, one of the things that I find is really neat now that I've been in it 10 years is the kids that come back. They once they leave the program, this year when I was at Red Bank, I had a number of past players who stopped back in, and it's just so neat to see now that they're engineers. We have one that's an engineer, one stopped back in who's a lawyer now, and just to see the things that they're doing, and they talk about football and the pleasant experience that they had. So, to me, that's a real, that's what it's about, teaching these kids, hopefully, that they can take some of these skills or that they learned in football and some of the lessons that we taught them on the field and kind of take that into their adult lives. That's kind of a neat thing for me to see.
What is the key to a successful program?
Probably the biggest key I feel is to have everybody pulling the rope in the same direction. And what I mean by that is, we have the players, the coaches, the parents, and the administration, and having everybody on the same page and pulling the rope in the same direction. That's the key to any successful program, is everybody working together for one common cause.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with Armstrong School District's Education Today.
Before I came to IUP, I had no idea what college would be like or what role I would play or where I'd be in the future. But when I came to IUP, everything changed. I met people who really made me feel like I belonged. I had great classes at a great nationally ranked university. Hi, my name is Megan Miller. I'm a fine arts major and this is my university.
Okay, we're back with Katanning High School football head coach Frank Fabian. So, where are you from?
I'm originally from Ford City, Pennsylvania, right down the road here. I grew up right in downtown, about 2 blocks from the high school.
So, I take it you graduated from Ford City High School?
I did.
Where did you go to college?
I went to college to Gannon University, which is located in Erie, Pennsylvania. It was a Division II school at the time that I went to.
Do you have a family?
Sure do. I have my wife, Shanna, who's also a teacher in the school district, and then I have a daughter, Julia, who's 3.5, and then I have a son, Troy, who's 10 months, right now.
What coaches have influenced you?
Probably the biggest influence that I've had in my coaching career are the 2 coaches that I coached for. One was Ed Wozlowski. When I went to Red Bank Valley, he was the head coach and I got a chance to work under him, and I learned so much about football, but also how to handle people and how to deal with certain situations. And I kind of worked alongside of him, and it was just invaluable. I feel so lucky that I got to work under such a great coach. And then probably the other coach that has really influenced me is Coach Panchik. You know, I got to spend a year with him here at Katanning High School, and you know, Coach really taught me a lot about defensive football and just watching him during practice and different things and different way he handled certain situations, you know, was very beneficial to me. And you know, and I still draw on some of those lessons that I learned, but those two guys definitely had the most influence on my coaching career to this date. I feel very fortunate to have worked for both of them.
What do you think of the Katanning and Ford City rivalry?
Well, I think it's good for the communities. I've only been a part of it really 1 year, so I don't have much experience with it. I did coach here in 2009. That was kind of a unique experience, I guess, in itself, that, you know, it came down to the last game of the year, and the winner got to go to the playoffs, and you know, Katanning, I guess we were able to upset them that year, so that was, you know, it was a real eye-opener for me to how serious these communities take football. And you know, but I think it's good for the communities to have this, you know, rivalry. I think it's good for the students. It seems to get the student bodies excited about that game, and it's one that we look forward to continuing now that we're back in their conference, or in the same conference with them.
All right. Well, that's our show for today. I'd like to thank Coach Fabian for taking time out of his busy schedule to join us. Our thanks also go out to the TV production students of Katanning High School, led by their teacher, Mr. Don Swanson. They were our film crew today. Please join us again next week for another look at Armstrong School District. DVD copies of this and all Education Today programming can be requested by contacting Chris Garatano, Multimedia Technician at Katanning Junior High School. Visit our website for updated information about the district, and have a great week.